right. This is a time to be patient, relax, enjoy your family. You got to work hard. You got to work 2-3 times harder to make the same amount of money. Naturally, this is what's happening. But the strong will survive, and that's just basically it. I'm kind of enjoying this, honestly. Hey guys, Steve Zonardo here with Remax West Zonardo Associates. We're actually in the car driving to our severed lots. We're actually going to do a site visit. I haven't been there since we got the registration, just to kind of see if how everything's going there, and also if the land is maintained, and also the fence that we put up, if it's still holding up for insurance purposes. So we're going to have a quick ride. This is Chris. Obviously, Chris is usually behind the camera asking me questions, but this will be like a live, sort of like a podcast, I guess.
Just talk while we're driving. Yeah. Ride along to Alliston, part 4. If you guys remember back in 2019 or 2018, we did one with Steve.
When's the last time you went to Alliston? It's been a couple months. Yeah. But we've been busy with Florida too, so we've been back and forth. Tenants have moved out of one property so far. I guess while we're up there, we'll check if the tenants are moved out of the other property that we sold. So it'll be a good site check today. We haven't been up in a while. So it's good. I mean, the land just finally got severed, or a registered plan like last week. So that's cool. Literally 1 year of work, an endless amount of time and energy to get it done, which is a little frustrating naturally, because if it was done quicker, we would have timed it well. Either we would have built something, or we would have sold the properties off and made a profit. So now currently we're basically sitting on property that I don't think will sell this year anytime soon, because usually raw land's very difficult to sell because you can't mortgage it, right? Like the banks don't give you mortgages on it, so you have to 100% finance it. And the only way to do that is if you're going to use a line of credit, or obviously if you have the cash in hand to do it. So always makes it more challenging to sell, but it's okay. I mean, they're basically, the lots came free. We subdivided them up on rental property that we took duplex currently, that we're going to triplex in the future. And that's it. And we'll go visit the other raw piece of land that we have, because that one is it's another building lot, and that one's probably overgrown because we have never had anybody maintain it. So it's a good idea to check it out.
How long have you had that other lot?
So I bought them in sequence with the other two properties. I think it's 2016 or 15, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all of them were bought in 2016, 2015?
No, I think it was like 14, 15, and 18, something like that, or 14, 16, and 18.
Yeah. Okay. And has it always, for the specific ones that you just got the severance and everything for, the okay to build on it?
Yeah.
Was that always a plan right when you bought it?
Yeah, for sure. I think that the goal was, because I triggered my Terry on warranty. We worked hard during COVID to get that finalized, and the whole goal was to build it. Obviously, we incorporated a company, Treviso Homes, and everything is very similar named here in Florida now. So we're supposed to build them there, and just kind of looking at the pros and cons with it, because if we sell the raw land now, let's just say at the height of the market, if they're worth $450 a piece, it's $900,000 of free capital earned on the property, because we're keeping the property, we're just cutting a few land off the back. So it's great money. And do you do that, or do you build? Naturally, I wanted to build because it's more so to get the business off the ground, even though the profits are not. I think it'd make an additional $150K per property. So instead of making, let's say, 900, you'd make it like 1.2 million, which is obviously substantial, but it's not. It's 1 year of your lifetime.
Yeah.
Also the risk factor, right? Because you're going to have to finance those builds with the banks. So, and the banks lend out money, especially if it's construction. They lend them out in sequence. So basically, you'll sign a contract, and it'll be like, okay, we're gonna give you X amount of dollars now, and so with that money, we want to see foundation and framing with shingle roof. It could be something like a sequence like that, and then if you complete that, and then you order the bank to come out and have a look at the property, and then they'll say, okay, well, you've checked it off, you've done the roof, or the foundation, the framing, and the asphalt. And then it's like, okay, they'll give you another tranche of money. But what happens is that it's a time. It could be like 2-3 weeks before you get that next infusion of cash, and then you get this property sitting there, right? And obviously they're charging you on the money being lent.
Interesting. So they kind of have a checklist on what they want to see you do with the money before they give you a little bit more.
Well, yeah, for sure, rightfully so, because a lot of people would take all the money and then mismanage it.
Yeah.
Because they don't trust you as a business, right? Especially if you're a small business. What are you going to do with that money?
Yeah.
Do you spend all that money in the foundation? Now the bank's stuck with, literally a foundation and a piece of land that's been overspent, so they obviously want to make sure.
When you're building these, or doing a new build and stuff like that, what would you say is like the hardest thing, or like the thing that you've learned going through this process so far?
I don't know about the construction part yet, because we didn't get to that part yet, right? So obviously we came from a background of construction, so I understand it. But it's more so, getting the raw land to plan is very difficult, and it's not totally frustrating, because it's just lengthy time. And everybody I hired was pretty good. They did their job, and I never had to beg for anything. It was usually done. Just a surveyor took way more time than he needed. It's like 3 months, right? And that kind of pushed back the project a bit, and we couldn't get anybody else out there sooner.
Yeah.
And it's not like he gave you a deal. It was done 3 months late. 3 months later, it was like, hey, either you're gonna pay and get the job done in 3 months, or we're not coming. So find somebody else. And so you try to find somebody else,
and you can't find someone.
It's like you can't find anybody. You call them back. It's like, yeah, 3 months is great. 3 months for sure. Perfect. Let's do it. You think 2.5 months, maybe 2 months, but it's okay. 3 months total.
Yeah.
You're sort of like on one knee at one point.
Yeah, it's crazy because like even all these trades and all the companies in this industry, there's like a huge demand for it right now. So like
it's worldwide though. I'm watching it even in the U.S. right now, in Florida specifically, because just looking at that process of all the builders. These are not like our builders. We have big builders here, but not like they're like these are giant. These are monstrosities. These are on like the NASDAQ. They're on the stock market. These are huge companies. They used to bang out houses in 3 to 4 months from deposit check to completion. 3 to 5 months, let's say. And now they're like 5 to 8, and they're complaining. But the speed is incredible. Every time I go back to see the property, we usually walk in on the house, or I send somebody else to take a look at it. It's just massive done. So we landed last week. We were there. We got there. We looked at the property. They were just cleaning the floor.
Yeah.
And no stucco was done. So they're cleaning the inside floor. They're getting it ready to lay tile. And the exterior wasn't stuccoed. We got back. It was stuccoed, and the tiles were laid. Like literally 4 or 5 days later. So they stuccoed the exterior of the building, and they laid the tiles within those 4 or 5 days.
That's wild. It's just like bang, 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 like on a conveyor belt, right?
It's great. It's great progress and processing. And now a buddy of mine is moving down to Florida, and so he's down because he bought an investment property in the same area, and he went to see them because we always check up for each other. And he's like, they're laying the interlock driveways. They're all interlock driveways.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So we have an end of the August closing there, and so it looks like they'll be bang on time or even earlier.
That's crazy. So like comparing how they work over there and operate over there with building things, and then come back to Canada, Toronto, how you do it over here, what do you think's like that missing piece that makes it that we can't be on the same level as them at that speed?
I don't know.
Like if we don't have processes for that, or is it?
I think weather, obviously we got a thing with weather in winter, so they dig at a certain time because of the frost, or they dig to a certain time and there's a break for frost for digging. For foundation there, it's sub on grade, right? It's concrete poured on top of the soil. Or sand. I don't know. I think their process is much larger because it's a publicly traded company.
Yeah.
There's expectations for shareholders, so everything is processed like a factory or a corporation. Whereas a lot of our companies here are privately owned, and it's just like, hey, whatever, it's not. We're going to make ourselves happy here, but they're under the gun, so they've actually hired people for processing. Our businesses here have family members that take over certain positions, which they do. I'm sure they do an okay job, but there's specific people who are like, hey, you're processing in different corporations, maybe not even in housing, but we need you to help the process here. And then they'll look at how to streamline things.
Yeah.
And even like their sales agents there have a lot more responsibility. Like the sales staff or the builders, they're like they really earn their dollar. Let me tell you, because they have to send a constant. A lot of people are buying from out of state, right, and out of country. So people people want follow-ups. So every week they got to send follow-ups to all the people around the country, processing. And then it's the follow-up, and then it's like the decor. Like they're always involved from the beginning to the end. A lot of times here you drop your contract, and that's pretty much it. There's a process, maybe you deal with the sales or the decor center and stuff like that, but at the end, you really don't talk to your sales staff that often or at all. Yeah. We have a few questions and we respond, but this is like a constant in the middle. Title company, like I got an email yesterday from the title company from our sales staff out there for Ladar Homes, their rental property. And we bought another house there from Polte, so that's cool.
It sounds like they kind of have it all together, and I guess also too, like you said, they're publicly traded, so it's like if they do something that's not done properly or they're not being efficient with it, then they're gonna have people on their ass, kind of like the shareholders being like, what's going on, and they'll pull their money out if they don't like what's happening, right?
People want to make sure the company's growing, right, and they want to have, if they have dividends, stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta perform.
Yeah.
And they've done well in the last couple of years. Naturally, they were selling things for so much more than what they normally used to sell for.
Yeah.
Obviously, COVID, we've seen that across the world, specifically in our neck of the woods. They did well. They did well, and you know what? It's still affordable. If you're there if you want to set up as a family, it's like living in the 80s. I got to be honest. Like we're out there for like 12, 14 days with my family. We brought our dog down, and it's like living back in the 80s. Everything is untampered with. Let's just say that. It's quite beautiful.
Yeah, more like relaxed.
It's relaxed. People are polite. People open the doors for you. One of the areas that we purchased another home in, it's like everybody waves at you.
Okay, so more like community-based.
And
no one's really stuck up.
No one's crazy. Nobody's crazy.
Yeah.
So, and they're polite, which is nice. Everything closes early, so it's not like you don't see like riffraff around. It's very clean. Everything's manicured. Everything is irrigated.
Yeah.
So all the streetscapes are nice and clean. It's only the pigs, the tourists like us that come in, if there's people that smoke and put cigarette butts on the floor and stuff.
Yeah.
But those are cleaned frequently. The roads are always maintained. You don't see any roadkill. And you remember, like everything is irrigated. So if you're driving through not just a gated community, but outside, like the regular streets, they're all maintained. They're all landscaped. The palm trees, they're all irrigated.
Yeah.
It's quite beautiful, honestly. It's a different approach to life. And again, no street lights. Some streets have them, but a lot of them don't. Majority don't. And there's no light pollution. So at night when it's dark, you can rest. You can rest your mind. I think for quality of living, what I've seen so far, I think it's a much better place.
Yeah. For the retired people, or?
No, I think we've changed lifestyle, right? I think young people don't want to have that. So we've been bred to grind. Oh, you gotta grind, you gotta grind, you gotta grind, you gotta go nuts, you gotta suffer, you gotta be in pain, you gotta like jeopardize your health, do all this stuff. And then you go on vacation twice a year. People don't want that anymore. People want to like kind of extract every ounce of life out of every day. And where do you do that? In a really cold climate that we have now. Also, everything's kind of closed. You're always stuck in your house. Like I think we're stuck in our house at least 8 months out of the year, indoors. And even like this summer, it's been so weird where we had to like go outside.
Yeah.
It's either been too muggy where you can't even breathe, or it's just got cold. Like even the last couple of days now.
Yeah.
It's been cold, right?
Yeah, it's been weird recently.
Yeah, it
feels like fall.
I'm telling you, and I've seen leaves, drop down yesterday. So this is the property here. This is the original bungalow. It's currently a duplex. We're gonna triplex it. It's actually got a solar system or solar panel for electrical, so I actually make a net return on the solar. So this should have 4 sources of income at the end. But what we did here, if you look, we're probably gonna come 10 feet off of the back of this house, and then we cut 2 52-foot lots right here. So I think it's probably gonna start. See where that post is there? That little red post. Did you see that? The little wood post there on the floor?
Yeah.
See it? Yeah, so that's the start of it. You see it's very tight to the back. That's where we had to go to a minor variance with the city. But they allowed it, which is awesome. And it goes to about, I don't know if you can see, look at that makeshift fence me and my brother put up. I think about to this point. That's one lot. And then there's this section here to here is the second lot. So they're 52 footers. Obviously you can't see anything, but yeah, cool little project. This one was right out of COVID. Everyone was sleeping. I said, screw it, I'm gonna buy it. But look, it's almost a half acre on the corner, right? So you have the unit A and B signs. It's cool, right? Like it's It's got a big driveway. We're gonna have to maybe get this driveway a little larger for the third tenant after. Yeah, it's good.
So it's this
Landscape.
house,
Yeah, that house.
the bush area.
Yeah, and that. So they're all 50 foot wide. So it's 50, 50, 50. So we had 150 by 153 or 155 feet. So we had, what does that equate to? It's basically 150 by 50. I forgot what the measurement was. I think it was like 30,000 square feet, something like that.
So we just saw the properties over in Alliston that you have. And just like going through there, I kind of have like a selfish question for myself. Someone that's come from construction background, working with my uncle, and my family always been around the construction industry. My dad's a laborer for the union. If someone wants to get into building and just that side of real estate, how would you say like to get into it as like an investor?
You need money, buddy.
Yeah.
You just like, you have the skill, you need people to back it. I mean, there's a lot of people that will back the projects.
Yeah.
I have a lot of people offer me money too. I never take it, to be honest. Maybe I'm not taking advantage of what I have currently, right? But yeah, it's all about money. Yeah. You got the money, you can do it. Obviously, you need the skill and the processing.
Is there like a baby step way to get into it, like little by little?
Sell real estate for 10 years, build assets, and then you'll have an opportunity in 10 whole years.
Jeez.
No, I think you can do it sooner. Don't look at me. My process is always longer. I'm building more like a concrete base rather than like. Well, people go quick, right? They'll go a couple of years. They have better at talking people up, getting money from people, and getting to build faster.
Yeah.
I don't know how long those relationships last, if they last at all. But anyway, the people get things out of the ground a lot quicker, let's say, than I did in 10 years, right? But again, these would have been my projects. This would have been my area. This would have been my name on the corporation. So it's basically me starting ground up, but into a corporation, not like joint venturing and having like 25% of the cake and then managing the whole job, or 10% of the job, but it looks like it was mine, but it's not. No, it would have been, a partner, but ultimately it's I'll be matching dollar for dollar. It's not like
You're not putting in the sweat while someone else puts in the money.
Correct, you know what I mean? If you're putting in $1, I'm putting in $1. That's how it works. It's a partnership rather than, let's say, you're working for somebody else, you get a small piece of the pie.
Yeah.
But yeah, you gotta build reserves. That's a huge thing.
So I know right now in Florida and stuff, you're working with builders to get your properties up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you have a plan on to doing the building yourself eventually?
Yeah, of course. So now we're selling real estate, right? Like we're doing the exact same thing as we do here. The only difference is like they're a low-rise sector that they cooperate with agents, which is awesome. So we can bring buyers there, sell new products, and get paid a commission on the base sale price of a property. Obviously that's before upgrades and the lot's not included. So so like a $1.2 million house or $1.4 million house, the base price might be $800,000 to $900,000. You get a good commission a chunk out of that, which is good. It's good. It's easy processing. Your clients are happy, specifically if they're out of town, so it's nice. And also we're tapped into the resale market, so we're going to do all of it. For there to build, I think it'll be much easier. I can't see it. I'm not there yet. I got to be stationed there more frequently to do it. But I want to focus on selling real estate there, get that running, and ultimately, step away. But it's got to be soon, though. I don't want to wait too long. Obviously, the world's going through a recession, so America's going to be affected by it too. I always say, is Florida going to get affected like Canada in pricing? No, not at all. Will it adjust in pricing? Yes, it will. Will it adjust as much as Canada? No. So that as soon as that market bottoms out and it's starting to process again, we're going to figure it out at that point. But the whole thing is to make money. So obviously, if I'm down on each investment visa, I got to make sure I'm producing for the country. It's almost like the mob now. They're relying on you to earn. So
make sure that you give them a net positive.
And the reason to be in the country, because it is a gift if you're going to be there. And again, I'm a model citizen. I'm going there to hustle. We already did 3 deals, and we're not even there yet. So once we get the Canadian fluidity of deals going to there, then also we're going to build an American clientele there. We're going to be fine. It'll be a nice little business to run. And almost like, I want to do the building and the investing portion more than let's say the sales aspect to it, and that's even in this country. And you got to get the consistent deals, like the commissions and basically the deal, like the flow of the deals going before you can start the other processes.
Yeah.
It's almost like Howard Hughes when his dad invented that drill bit for oil, and it was patented, and it made a fortune, made the family wealthy, and he had no interest in it, but he always kept Tool going because that was the cash cow. He brought in all the funds where he could do other stuff with it. And obviously went to Hollywood movies and build planes and whatever, all this other crazy stuff that he did.
Yeah, you do the one thing that makes you money so that you can fund all the other things that you want to actually do.
Look at Warren Buffett. He owned an insurance company. He basically prints his own money.
Yeah.
And that money he just reinvests it into whatever he wants to buy. It's brilliant. He's created his own bank.
Yeah.
People renew every year. Even the insurance. It's consistent. How great is that? That's pretty much it. I think at the end, we'll be back here to do investing, but obviously it's not the time. Sit tight. This is a time to be patient, relax, enjoy your family. You got to work hard. You got to work 2-3 times harder to make the same amount of money. Naturally, this is what's happening. But the strong will survive, and that's just basically it. I'm kind of enjoying this, honestly. Like a deal's not as easy as it used to be. So now we're trying to just do this one deal in Angus. I'm basically harassing other agents to get something together. Will it work? I don't know. But it's damn, the one that's most persistent is going to get the most deals done during these times. So it's fine.
We also got to play around with more strategies and stuff like that instead of before where it's like you just listed low and then sell it for multiple offers.
Yeah. It was a no-brainer. It was an instant commission check, right?
Yeah.
You get an instant paycheck. But now it's a little different, and you're going to be smart when you're taking in properties because are they going to sit? Are they going to get paid on them? How much money are you going to invest in them? Are you going to stage them top to bottom? Are you not? Are you some agents they use other people's services as their service, and that's how they get the listing. But if they're not a strong salesperson, why are you hiring specific people? Because at the end, we all have the same trades. We all have the same stuff, like photography, video, Matterport, the drone, the intro video. No one's reinventing the wheel. Yeah. So we're gonna see, people go on listing presentations, and I'm usually, when I do clients, I'm usually interviewing like, I don't know, 3-4 people, and you're gonna go in there and light them up. And you got the guy just before you that's just giving them everything, same commission rate, but he's gonna furnish the whole house, and he's gonna do all this, and he's gonna do all that. Then you go in there with a different strategy, and I'm not bullshitting them. Timing is always more important than all that. Yeah, clearly the house has to look good, but if your house is dated from the 80s, there's no hope for it. Like, what are you gonna do? Whoever's gonna buy is gonna gut it, regardless.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What are you gonna do? Put modern furniture in there? Like, it doesn't make sense. I don't know. I don't see it.
At that point, you kind of have to just take it for what it is and price it accordingly.
Yeah, get the buyers that need to get in there. You clearly, whoever's buying it's not going to be a family. It's going to be a family that's going to renovate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're not going to just go in there with all the parquet floor and the ceramic tiles from the 80s and the basement that's been done in the 80s with no insulation, but in the back, like, it's a disaster. You can smell mold everywhere. Like, what are we doing? We're going to stage down there?
Yeah.
Like, it's pointless. And I think when you talk to your clients and you give it to them the way they want it. They want to be treated like adults, and then them to make the decision. And to be honest, that approach usually works because people just want to net the most amount of money with the least amount of bullshit.
Yeah.
And if you can give it to them, you're going to get the contract signed and you're going to move on. So that's my approach. Again, you got to fix some properties, for sure.
Yeah.
There's stuff standing out. Yeah, you gotta be smart with that, right? You gotta be intelligent. So going forward, you're gonna have a whole new bag of tricks or bag of tools going forward because it's gonna be a very difficult market. And I didn't even know how many agents we are now.
Yeah.
It's gotta be 70,000. I didn't even know. I don't know the number.
You think by now?
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
60, 70.
But then it's how many are doing it full time, right?
Yeah, it's a full time, but it's also people, warming up benches. We'll see what happens, right? You're going to start seeing a huge egress as people can't make a living anymore.
True.
And that's the nature of real estate. And then people I'll be going since 2010, I think. So that's 12 years. Have we been through a major recession? No. Like 2017 was one, and when I got into the market was one. But we just focus on our day-to-day, that's all. Like, you do your lead follow-up, you take listings that you can make money on, and that's it. And today's process, if you're a strong salesperson, you're gonna be able to help out your sellers and buyers rather than before. It was like everybody was a hero.
Yeah, exactly.
See how many heroes are left.
What would you say is like, because you said that we've had like the slowdown in 2017 when you started. That was what, the financial?
No, I started in 2010.
2010.
Yeah, that was a debacle from the U.S., right?
Yeah.
That kind of stemmed over here, but it stemmed late for some reason. Because I remember I was trying to buy a personal residence in 2009, and it was already a debacle. And then when we got into 2010, veteran agents were like, hey, if you can make it in today's market, you can make it in any market.
Yeah.
Like the Sinatra song, New York, New York. But I didn't see it. I didn't know. I'm naive. I don't know what's good or what's bad. I was licking envelopes, stuffing them with like, hi, I'm Steve. I joined Roll LePage. Like, let's go. Like, come on, I'll do anything right now. Let's go. So, what do I know what a difference in the market looked like? And that's probably the best way to look at it. Just work every day. As long as you show up, talk to some people, figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, like in those days, we used to do a lot of cold calling and door knocking. Like, that's, at least you're being proactive. You're not going home, right?
Yeah. How did you get your first listing?
First listing.
Were you one of those guys that were like, I'll do it for 1%?
No. So the first listing I got was actually a really big property in Oakville. It was a referral, and God bless him for giving me the opportunity. But again, I was really professional at that time. I already understood pricing, and it was quite easy to get a grasp of things. So that was a referral through my wife's uncle. He helped me out. That was a grind. It took me like a couple months to sell that property. Did maybe more, open house every weekend. But it was always price at the end. We ended up selling for $680 in like 2011 or 10 or whatever it was. That's huge money. Like that property is like, and you know, renovated today probably be like, I don't know, $2.5 million, $3 million.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, for sure. That's a particular area of Oakville. And then the next listing I got was, sometimes you work with agents that have an overflow of dead leads.
Yeah.
That are too lazy to actually follow up with them on their own, so they give it to a junior agent to do. But they're really dead. Like,
there's no pulse there.
I was trying to breathe life into everything. Any number, anybody I talked to, I was trying to breathe life. So I was showing this one family, and they're still my clients today, the Gloriosos.
Oh, like, wow.
Yeah. The son just messaged me now because we bought him a rental property. He's literally on the way down. So. So that was cool. So we started showing them property and the whole thing. And what happens is that the agent that gave me that referral didn't specify exactly with how the listing process goes, because these guys are trying to build teams, but the teams were never going to happen. And I knew that. I could kind of read that. Yeah. So I made sure that I signed that listing quick, because if I told him, then it would have gone under his name, and then I would never built my career. And I was like, groom these people. I'll give you the referral fee, it's fine, but ultimately my sign's got to go in the ground.
Yeah.
So before they had an opportunity to kind of think about it, it was already signed in the ground. We'll give you a commission check or a referral fee. So that was good. I bought something in Woodbridge, and I bought I sold a property in Toronto, which happened to be my sister-in-law's house that she grew up in.
Oh, really?
But unrelated, naturally. They bought the house 2 or 3 families after they moved out.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Those are the first 2 listings.
So when you got those dead leads, what was your sales script like? How would you reach out to them? Like, what would you say to them?
I don't know, buddy. It was so raw. Remember, I don't know.
You didn't have something like scripted out? You just picked it up and...
And then once I joined coaching, we had more of like a canned scripts for buyers and sellers and listing presentations. It's just, just try to be knowledgeable and try to be professional. I think that always worked. And be happy, have some energy to your conversation, because if you're a lump on the log, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They say enthusiasm sells more than the actual skills of selling. So if you're going to light people up when you talk to them, you got a better chance than the guy that's even more skilled than you.
And then how has that transformed from what you used to do to now? Like, do you deal directly with all the lead follow-up usually? Yeah, of course. Like, I have Elisa doing, she spearheads the business here, like even all our rental properties, everything, but it's we're still there. Like, now we're going to build out a small team, because the situation in Florida, I need somebody here all the time, full time. Yeah. It's dealing with it. But, it's always me. How's the process of that been going?
With
trying to build out a team?
It's okay. We're flirting with one agent right now. We'll see. I know he's got a few other the whole goal was to make enough money to build, develop, and switch gears.
Yeah.
Like I said, and at that time when I would have built, develop, I would have implemented someone to hold this end of it. So this is what we're gonna do now. So instead of build, develop, we're building another business. So I need someone to hold here. So this is always the plan. At some point I'd have to do it, but it was never while I was trading.
And what would you say is like the hardest thing of that so far?
Florida?
Or just even trying to find someone to hold down the business?
It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you know, you trust it, right? You gotta, obviously, you gotta represent you the way you represent yourself. So how do you gotta figure that out?
Yeah.
But people do it, and people do it on very large scales, and they have very successful teams for a very long time. So I can't say it can't be done. I just gotta obviously figure out a routine or figure out somehow to get it done.
Yeah.
And if I can't, then I'm definitely the problem. For sure.
That's when you know, right?
Yeah, I'm the common denominator.
So that's it, guys. Have a great day. If you have any questions you like these videos, please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll get you on the next one. Ciao.